computer is picking up a strange signal. Here, sir, you better take a look at it.
Hello listeners, and welcome to a small milestone for Life Through a Prism podcast with your host Rob Tierney. Today is the 50th episode. Before we get into the topic for today, I just wanted to look at how the podcast came into being and take a look back at where we have come from. Up until about 2 years ago, it had never entered my mind that I would ever be interested in podcasting. A Tasmanian organisation called Disability Voices Tasmania held a podcasting course. I thought it sounded interesting and went and did the course. I'd been looking for an avenue to be able to share my conversion therapy journey, much as a cathartic exercise is to learn a new hobby. In the last 50 episodes, during the first year while after recording an episode of my conversion therapy story, I had a heart attack and was very lucky to be still here today. I have had the privilege of being able to have my friends Sharon Covenus-Jones talking about belonging and community in regards to the LGBTIQA+ community, and Marion Thurley, whom we've had many discussions on disability and her experience as a blind person. In podcasting, there are statistics on how many episodes you may make and the likelihood of reaching the next milestone. If you reach 8 episodes, there is a 42.93% chance you will keep going. At 50 episodes, the percentage drops dramatically to 9.83% chance of reaching that goal. I want to next thank you for listening, whether it be the past, present or future. I wish to thank the small group of people who follow the podcast. The podcast is now available on YouTube Podcasts. There are a few missing because of some episodes which had songs in them. I don't know what the future holds. I'll keep going with the podcast and hope to bring you topics that can foster conversation. If you know anybody who may like the podcast like mine, I rarely ask, but would like you to like and subscribe and follow. With that being said, let's look at today's topic. Today, the 3rd of December, is the International Day of People with a Disability. The theme for IDPWD 2024 is Amplifying the Leadership of Persons with Disabilities for an Inclusive and Sustainable Future. How do we amplify the leadership of persons with a disability? This article comes from a disability services website called Scope. Link to the article will be included in the show notes. Unique perspectives, problem solving and innovation, shattered stereotypes. Dr. Karen Gaskin shares the impacts of having people with disability in leadership roles. At Scope, we are committed to ensuring people with disability are in leadership positions from our service delivery teams through to executive leadership. These ambitions are no different at our board and committee level, where 50% of members are people with disability and 80% are a family member or carer of a person with disability. Dr. Karen Gaskin is an independent member on our Client Experience and Outcomes Committee and Governance and Remuneration Committee. Karen is an accomplished social scientist with research spanning disability, mental health, healthcare, physical activity and childhood obesity. He has qualifications in business and psychology, including a PhD, and is a former board director of a disability service provider. He is also a person with cerebral palsy. We spoke to Karen about why he joined our board committee and what can happen when people with disability are in leadership roles. Improving participation of people with disability. I chose to nominate as an independent member of the Scope Board Committee to contribute to efforts to improve the social and economic participation of people with disability. Disability service providers are uniquely positioned to protect and promote the human rights of people with disability and support their participation as equal citizens in their communities. They have opportunities to demonstrate how people with disability can more fully participate in society and encourage them to be ambitious in what they aspire to achieve in their lives. Nothing about us without us. Having people with disability in leadership positions across Scope is essential for ensuring that their voices influence decision making that affects the thousands of people the organisation supports. People with disability in leadership is one way Scope can show its support and commitment to nothing about us without us. This is a key disability rights principle that means decisions should be made with the full participation of the people they affect. Leaders with disability often have unique perspectives that inform problem solving and innovation, leading to better services for people with disability. They also have important roles ensuring the organisation remains accountable for actions taken that affect people with disability. There is also a compelling business case for greater disability inclusion as organisations that are more inclusive of people with disability do better financially. Shifting perceptions. One of the most significant problems facing people with disability is the pervasiveness of low expectations that many of us, and sadly many of us, have of ourselves. Having people with disability in leadership positions is a direct challenge to prevailing stereotypes that we are incapable. Leaders with disability can help to shift perceptions of people with disability. They can begin to normalise the notion that people with disability are competent and can contribute meaningfully to society. They can also serve as inspiration for others with disability, causing them to lift their aspirations and emboldening them to pursue their dreams. I hope one day it will be unremarkable to see people with disability lead similar lives to those without disability, and that we have similar expectations of people with disability. Leadership to drive change. The last several decades have seen major changes affecting many people with disability in Australia. However, many still experience discrimination, disadvantage and poor outcomes across several areas of life. This includes health and access to healthcare, housing, education, employment and social participation, and are also more likely to experience abuse, violence and neglect. But people with disability have increasing opportunities to improve their social and economic participation in society, thanks to growing recognition of the rights of people with disability, increasing awareness of how environments can be adapted to suit everyone's needs, and improving paid supports. People with disability also have an important role in driving changes in society. Leadership is a behaviour, not a job title. And we have opportunities to show leadership in what we do, and through speaking up. I'd encourage people with disability to display leadership often. There you go, listeners. What do you think? Have you been in a position where someone saw more than your disability and saw something in you that they wanted to nurture and encourage? Would love to hear from you. Till next time, take care and bye for now.